When you click on it, your browser will ask you to allow camera and mic. You have buttons to mute mic and hide camera. When you press the join button, the webinar starts. You can see the people already joined and you have the option to chat with them. You can leave the meeting and rejoin it if wanted. Now to set up live streaming, go to studio.youtube.com. If you are for the first time, you will be asked to name your channel. In the homepage, you can see a Go Live button. If you are using live streaming for the first time, you will be asked to give your phone number. After entering it, you will get an OTP on your phone. Enter it here for verifying your account. Now again go to your studio home and press the Go Live button. You will get a warning that you have to wait 24 hours. You can access the live feature only after 24 hours post verification. Now, we are going to download and install the OBS software for live streaming your screen.
Apparently, if I fancy getting married anytime soon, you're available for that too, right?
So, apparently, the world's greatest officiant is available. If you can find a woman who will marry you, Mustafa, but you got to start up. Oh, you already got that accomplished?
No, I'm struggling with that. I'm very much single. So, I mean, if you want to marry me to my startup collection,
you are married to your startup. You raise $1 billion. I can tell you who you're married to for the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
Flexion AI and your 40 people over there.
This Week in Startups is brought to you by OpenPhone. Brings your team's business calls, texts, and contacts into one delightful app that works anywhere. Get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/twist. Crowdbotics. Great ideas can change the world. And Crowdbotics is the fastest way to turn those ideas into code. Get a free scoping session for your next big app idea at crowdbotics.com/twist. And Carta now lets you launch and administer SPVs for your syndicate. Share your knowledge, capital, and network to launch your syndicate SPVs through Carta. Get 10% off your first SPV at carta.com/twist with promo code TWIST.
All right, we got a big treat for you today on This Week in Startups. Mustafa Suleyman is here. He's with Inflection AI, but very famous for having been the co-founder of DeepMind. Welcome to the program, Mustafa.
Great to be here. Thank you, JT. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I wanted to start with the origins of DeepMind because it seems like so much of what we're seeing in AI stands on the shoulders of that organization. And I don't think most people know the history of it. I happen to know a little bit of the history of it because I remember when Peter Thiel and Elon, I think, were two of the early funders of it, and we're talking about it, and we met, I think, at a couple of different industry events over time. Tell me, what was the origin of DeepMind, and then how did it, originate and start to tackle AI, general AI, vertical AI, all these different things that are coming to fruition? And I guess that was 2010, right? 2011?
It was 2010 that we started the company. Yeah, exactly, which seems kind of insane, like almost 15 years ago. And it's just quite surreal to see because in the last sort of, 9 to 12 months, it feels like the kind of large language model revolution has come out of nowhere and exploded onto the scene. But in fact, it has been the kind of steady march of many, many years and a huge amount of failure and a lot of risk and a lot of persistence that I often think gets slightly neglected in the story of the perfect explosion of a new technology. In fact, for most of the last decade, we didn't have language models. I mean, the transformer was really only popularized in 2017. I mean, people often say that it was invented then. It was certainly not invented then. It was invented a good 15 or 20 years earlier by Yoshua Bengio, and then many other people developed the ideas, but it was really only 4 or 5 years ago that the idea started to get traction again. And then it wasn't until GPT-3 that people started to get a glimpse of, what it looked like at scale instead of just in a test environment. So, yeah, it's been a crazy journey. How do we start the company? So, 2010, I was actually playing poker with Dennis Hassabis, who is my longtime friend since we were quite a bit younger.
In London, I assume, at those high-rate casinos, bedrooms?
That's right. It was at the Victoria Casino in London, which is on Edgware Road. Not the biggest game in the world. I seem to remember it was probably a £250 tournament, only 120 people, but so we would play at these things regularly. Both of us were very passionate about poker. I was playing. I was one of these people that was doing like 8-table poker stars. Back in the day. My friends were doing 16-table, but I didn't have the actions per minute speed to manage that.
You're on a clock. Yeah, it's not easy to multi-table